Now we're cooking. It's the coach. This is the 2019 season on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Dalvin Cook. He's back and coming off a big game a weekend ago, as it'll be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Green Bay Packers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thanks, Coach. Well, both teams were hoping the rain would vacate the Green Bay area by kick, but alas, it's still falling pretty steadily in and around Lambeau Field. We all know this community lives for its Packers, and the green and gold came out of the tunnel a short time ago, and it was loud. We are ready for football, so are they, as the Packers get set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. From up top, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles Davis, as always, with me as well. And CD, defenses better be on their toes in this one, because we got two quarterbacks who love to throw the football, and they throw it very well.
Over 4,000 yards each in the previous season. So what you're saying is, if you're a defender, I hope you're prepared properly. Hydrated, stretched, be on your toes, as you said, because the ball's coming your way.
Two clubs here, each looking to rebound from a Week 1 loss as we're underway on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Packers take the field. Aaron Rodgers at the helm. 2019 marking his 12th season as the Packers starter. 15th season overall. Last year for Rodgers, 25 touchdown passes, just 2 interceptions. Throwing on first down is Rodgers. That's caught by Geronimo Allison. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards on the game's opening play. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. And he's got a first down and then some at midfield. 30. 10. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Jones, his first touchdown of the new season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms, because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here come the Vikings as they get set for their first drive. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, our team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
They'll wind up with 3 yards out of that, and it's second down. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
And running back Dalvin Cook was drafted in 2017 to be the lead runner for the Vikings, and he should love what they're putting in for him in 2019. This is a run-first, run-heavy offense as dictated by their head coach. Dalvin Cook should get more than enough carries to threaten 1,000 yards rushing this season.
Here's Dalvin Cook, third year back from Florida State. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards there, first down.
I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you're watching a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. Time to look at the defensive starters for Green Bay. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
This is an area of the game that they definitely have to improve because right now, against the pass, top 10 in the league. But against the run, that's where the struggles have come in. Got to find a way to make sure they stop runners before they get started.
Running the jet sweep. This is Thielen with it. The first-round pick, Jair Alexander, making the tackle.
Well, it certainly appears that in this game, someone has decided they're going to open up their playbook. First quarter, and we see that play. I like their style.
Now Cousins, and he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. They'll get 34 yards there.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. On third down, Cousins ducks him with a grab over the middle. And they're going to get him down shy of the first at about the 13-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to fourth down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
So, yes, it's only 3, but at least they're able to answer back after giving up the touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, I like the observation there because getting some points on the board, very positive for them. Feel a little bit better about things because if you don't score, you potentially have opened the door for them to score again, and then you're down 14.
The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So, hey, if your guys can do that for 4 quarters, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it is a team game, so that's just good complimentary football. But, I know I'm no brainiac, but you trade 6s for 3s, things are going to work out in your favor.
Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5. Defensively, let's go ahead and meet the starting 11 for Minnesota. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
For some defensive fronts, playing the run is not the priority. It's playing the pass, right? They get upfield, they rush the passer, and sometimes neglect stopping the run. That's something that they have to work on and reverse a little bit. Make sure you play the run on your way back to the quarterback.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down.
Exit. Right there.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And out now come the Vikings. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future All-Pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago. Really, it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys and continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 21. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. On 2nd down now, it's Jones, and he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. The 3rd-year back from BYU, Jamal Williams with a carry. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Rodgers going to throw. And his throw here's incomplete.
He'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down.
Big series right here, so we got to step it up.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. It's caught. Jones. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a 1st. Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. 10 more there and another 1st down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the 1st quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Now a run on 1st down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3.
And Anthony Barr just has it all as far as I'm concerned in terms of physique, athletic ability, and now he's versatile as well. When he came out of UCLA, he played outside linebacker, but also down defensive end. The Vikings can utilize the same sort of skills.
Now on 2nd and 13, Rodgers. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Rodgers. He gets this to Davante Adams. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
No. 319. 54. Mike, 54. I got it.
Rodgers to throw for it on 4th. And he finds Jimmy Graham. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. 1st down on a pickup of 11. They'll run on 1st down. It's Jones. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another 1st down. It will.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the 2nd quarter.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Rodgers. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long.
Mike's 54. Mike's 54.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And the pressure gets to him again. There for the sack, Everson Griffin.
Sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Well, that will go down as a 15-play drive, and it results in 3 points. So some disappointment?
It's funny. We had our conference before the game with the offensive coordinator. And what did he tell us? I just want every drive to end in a kick, right? An extra point, a punt, or a field goal. Well, in this case, I think it is a little bit of a disappointment because it did end in a kick, but that type of a drive should end in the end zone.
A reminder coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football, a good one from Atlanta. Eagles and Falcons, 8:20 Eastern. And then tomorrow on Monday Night Football, Odell Beckham back in New York. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one good for 37 yards.
Press coverage on the outside, and for defenders, that's the ultimate risk-reward. If you take the risk, can you reward yourself by keeping them on the line of scrimmage? But no, not on that one. Got to step on them. Now it's just a matter of laying the ball out there for him to go.
A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Josh Jackson, and he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Watch the run, watch the run.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. A bullet throw, but incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to got them the football, but you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away, and it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line.
Under 10.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Now this throw caught left side. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
And he's going to go down in the end zone. Cousins taken down for the safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. Defense. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Throwing now is Rodgers. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked. But instead, they'll keep it on 2nd down.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series, before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down, it's Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll be 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Rodgers going to try and throw on 3rd down. Open man is Allison, complete. Rodgers to Allison, good for a Green Bay 1st down. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. To throw, it's Rodgers. And that is incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely, just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 15-yard line.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and this is what we saw there. A nice pickup for a 1st down.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Scan 300. Scan 300. 49. Recon, 132 fighter.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And he will make his way back to where he started from, and that's all, as we will make our way to the 2-minute warning. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season.
Hey, take 26.
Rodgers now on third down. Buying time to his left. They go with a shuffle pass, and it's complete. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And that's going to bump up their lead now to 15-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
Now a first down throw complete downfield. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there, 26 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Setting up the screen for Cook. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Cousins again. His throw caught at about the 5. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. A first down there on a pickup of 25. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete. He was trying to find Chad Beebe that time, but it'll be 2nd and goal.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well. I
love how you put it together, the front and back.
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Chad Beebe as the first half is winding down as his guys are back within a single score. Until that late score here in the second quarter, they only had the field goal, so that's just big to see that football get into the end zone.
Yeah, when you look at the scoreboard now, nothing seems out of reach. They've been outplayed in the first half, but when the clock hits zeros as they head into the half, you know what I do as the head coach?
What?
I tell my team to sprint to the locker room to show that we've got the momentum and show that we're right back in this game.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph. So we've come to halftime in a 5-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll begin up at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, and that one tied 14 apiece in the second quarter. From there, we'll head to Cincinnati to check on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the visiting 49ers. Joe Mixon, a couple of touchdown runs. Lastly, let's check in at our nation's capital. See what's happening with the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And you can see they trail the visiting Cowboys. The Cowboys locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have. In our game has been Aaron Rodgers, who was on target in the first half. His guys have the lead, as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This will be fielded at the 6. Amir Abdullah. He's at the 40, 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings. It's a kickoff return of 94 yards, and the Vikings have taken the lead. Mike Zimmer's made the decision. His guys will go for 2.
We've sat in a lot of meetings, and they always talk about the offense taking advantage of beginning a half. Because special teams coaches don't listen to that. They want to take advantage with their own unit, and they just did.
Yeah, they trailed in the locker rooms, and they changed that immediately.
I think they drew that one up special. That felt like something he pulled out of his pocket that he'd been holding for a while, and they were able to use it effectively.
Number 12 back out there. Aaron and his Packer teammates set to begin their drive. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? Shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. The second half starts with a carry by Jones. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Eric Kendricks, the Vikings' leading tackler a season ago, in on the stop. From the 27, Rodgers.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
Let's get off the field. Let's get off the field. Shoot! Watch the shoot!
From the gun, Rodgers. And he comes back with one complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 13 yards, first down, Packers. First down, Jones. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
16 yards, a first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The run defense, they have been porous at times today, but not that last go-around.
No, they really tightened it up, didn't they? They finally got themselves a win, because all game long we've seen them get gashed. This time they played their responsibilities, played their keys, and made a nice stop.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
It is tough to complete pass against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle.
54
On third down, Rodgers. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. To throw, Cousins. But he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
They went with the dive look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Davis now to return it. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. Here's Aaron Jones in the offense trotting back out. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
Tighten up. Pull it together. Check 52.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play.
Now Jones is hit. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now
after review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Blue 58. Hey, come on now.
they'll try and run for it with Jones. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Check 26. Right there. 54. Right there.
Here's Rodgers operating from the gun. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Davante Adams. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And once again, the Packers, they're back out in front. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, They'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense back on the field. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your coach? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. But when I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. He lost 4 there, and it's third down. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Cousins shakes off the sack. But in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Now Aaron Rodgers and the offense heading back onto the field. He's been a good game manager. They're winning here in the third quarter, but really the ground game is where it's been at for them, hasn't it?
So whatever the game plan was, you just got to focus on continuing to run the football. And really that takes the pressure off of the guy throwing it around. Doesn't have to be the focal point. Hand it off, let him chew up the yardage in big plays, and your team's winning. The only people upset, the fantasy guys who may have started him at quarterback in their leagues.
And we'll see if they continue with a recipe of the ground game. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. To throw is Rodgers. Going to throw again. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Another good run for him. What else is new? That'll put him right at 150 yards for the game, so he's really made his presence felt in this one.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Rodgers. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Here's Rodgers to throw on 3rd down. Open on the left side. This is Valdez-Scantling. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was a crossbar that said otherwise. And that'll deny him a shot at 3.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. Here's Britton Colquitt now. He's been terrific so far. Back now at Lambeau. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the fourth. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on fourth down. Now Cousins on fourth down. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Kirk Cousins last year started all 16 games, but only led the Vikes to just one fourth-quarter comeback like he's trying to do here. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. Call it a pickup of 7, and it's a second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
To throw again on second down. Cousins. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. A gain of 5. Good enough for the first down.
Not only did we just see back-to-back nice gains, but we're also seeing the confidence rise, not just for the guy who caught it, but the guy throwing it as well.
And these back-to-back catches here out of the backfield, that can set something up downfield in a later sequence, right?
A lot of the time, it starts to draw the defense closer to the line of scrimmage. So to your point, show this swing pass, show this check down. Maybe later on you heave one deep when you catch him close to the spot.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on first and goal. Here's Cousins. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Chad Beebe. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Vikings have once again taken the lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His second touchdown of the game, and they lead. And
now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. He finds an opening past the 40 as they finally wrangle him in at the 48. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch victory.
So one play and they're already just shy of midfield. They'll run it with Jones. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. On the tackle that time, it's Trey Waynes.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go. Sponge, 26.
Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Eric Kendricks in on the tackle.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
It's our time. It's our time, guys. It's our time. Watch the safety creep.
On third down, here's Jones. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Give him 6 yards in the first down.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on third down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Here's Rodgers to throw. Got a man. That's Allison. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. To throw is Rodgers. Flush to his right. Open here is Allison. That's complete. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. He was out there waving his arms saying, throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Everson Griffin picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Stephen Weatherly providing a little deja vu, back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue, because you know after the sack there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Jair Alexander up to make the tackle. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now Cousins. And Cook has it, left side. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a score to break this tie. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Rodgers, 7 yards there and a 1st down. Aaron Rodgers, so cool in these situations, but he's got to get his guys moving.
Yeah, they have to be able to have that urgency while still keeping their cool.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. 2-minute drills, they're tough enough, pressure-packed enough, and these elements makes it significantly tougher.
And you don't have the margin where you can say, okay, I can allow for certain things and maybe change up a little bit. Because it's a 2-minute situation, you've got to try and make the same plays you would make if the elements didn't exist.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. Throwing is Rodgers. He's got Adams on the hookup. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. Rodgers finding Adams for a Packer first.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves.
Oh, no, he lost the football. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Yeah, we had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play, and maybe his clock is off just a little bit.
To throw is Cousins. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Cook. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards there. 1st down, Vikings. Now Cousins.
Ken, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
Think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here. Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. The Vikings on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th. And off the crossbar, and it kicks back out. Needed maybe a foot or 2, but it's no good as it stands. And a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the 4th. That close to taking a 4th quarter lead, but the goalposts, they had other plans.
I thought it was on target. It looked good off his foot, but then, doink, off the metal and out. And those are the kind of breaks that can definitely swing the ball game.
Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. Stop shy of the 45. Showed off a nice little move on the play, though. And we have free football. Overtime. Here we go, my friend.
And the way this game played out, this is exactly how it should end. Going to overtime because neither one got an advantage today.
And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick 6 or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. Set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, That gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. So they come out throwing in the extra session and get a nice hook up right away.
Tells you a lot about what a coach feels about his team, doesn't it? That type of a play in overtime, so many people in this situation play not to lose instead of playing to win. That throw there tells you exactly what they're trying to do.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Kenny Clark forced his way through, drops him for a loss of 10 yards. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to...
And that's caught inside the 30. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 39 yards there, a big one. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now a run with Cook. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Preston Smith there on the stop. I don't want to overhype it, but this is a big early season game, especially an overtime win. That could give you a big boost going forward in the season.
It certainly can, and I don't think you're overhyping it because cliches go out the window when you start to play overtime. And you're right, the winner of this game now, that's an extra boost moving forward, and it actually is an extra hurt for the team that loses because normally you shake it off, but in this situation, it lingers a little bit longer.
Cook following the penalty. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. And I know you with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. They're able to put 3 on the board here on the opening drive of OT, and now up to their defense to try and see if they can hold this one.
I like how you framed it up because obviously this game is not over, right? They go down and kick a field goal, then we head to sudden death. But if the defense can hold, take the ball away, turn it over on downs, this game's over.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. The field goal would push it to sudden death. We just saw the field goal on the other end, but I don't think they are thinking field goal. At least not to start this drive. They're not thinking field goal.
Not at all, because your point is well taken. Yeah, kick the field goal, you push it to sudden death, but you're also kicking off and giving the other team the ball with a chance to kick a field goal and beat you. Get the touchdown, finish the game off. That has to be the mindset.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. To throw, it's Rodgers. And Graham's got it over the middle. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
Throwing now is Rodgers. To Valdez-Scantling over the middle. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. So a little chunk there on 1st as they try to chip away down 3 in overtime.
I like your description. Chip away, down 3. You don't have to get it all in one big play, although obviously that would be nice. But there's no need to have that type of risk associated with it. Run your offense, get 1st downs, get yourself in a position where you know you're going to at least get 3 and keep this game going. If you get 6, so much the better.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll be down to just one remaining as we step aside here at overtime. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Rodgers going to throw. And he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field, and that brings up 4th. Now, I know there may be temptation to go for it here in overtime, but you have to punt the football.
I like how emphatic you are about it because I know the tendency is, as a player, let's go get this thing. You're actually telling your coach, come on, coach, we can get it. We have that play call. And the head coach has to remember, that play call likely isn't there. Punt the ball away. Punt it away. Be smart.
Trust your defense.
Trust them.
Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. Well, we thought this game would be a good one. It did not disappoint into overtime, and it took the field goal to win it.
And we always pay lip service to how important it is to play defense. And usually we focus on the big offensive pyrotechnics, right? But in this case, they got the ball back on defense, gave themselves a chance, and they capitalized on it with a victory.
And I don't care what distance that field goal is from in overtime. The knees are always knocking, but he pushed it through.
Not only that, think about your snapper, your holder. A lot of nerves for them, too, because they have to do their job in order to give him one last chance to put a foot to it.
So for the Vikings, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they'll drop to 0-2, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.